If your import from folder query suddenly doubles, triples, or explodes your row count, the files are rarely the problem. The problem is almost always the combined files pattern. Power Query quietly creates helper queries, a sample file, and a function, then wires them together. One small change in that wiring can make every file get processed more than once. And the worst part is, it still refreshes without errors. You just get duplicated rows and you start distrusting the whole model. In the next few minutes, you'll learn a clean mental checklist to find the duplication source fast. We'll separate real duplicates from query logic duplicates. Then we'll fix the common traps, like merging back to the folder list, expanding the wrong table, or referencing the sample file in the final output. By the end, you'll have one combined table, one row per source row. Next step. First, let's define what duplicates means in this situation. Sometimes you truly have repeated records inside the files, like the same invoice line exported twice. That's a data quality issue. But the more common case is that Power Query repeats the same file's rows multiple times because the folder list gets joined or expanded incorrectly. A quick way to tell the difference is to add a source file column early and check counts by file name. If every file has exactly 2 times the expected rows, that screams logic duplication. If only one file is huge, it could be a file-specific issue. Also watch for duplicates that appear only after a merge step. That usually means you created a one-to-many join, then expanded columns, which multiplies rows by design. Your goal is to pinpoint the first step where the row count jumps unexpectedly. Once you know that step, the fix is usually simple. Next step. To fix this confidently, you need to understand the combined file's anatomy. When you choose combined, Power Query generates a folder query that lists files and a transform sample file query that defines the steps for one file. It also creates a function, often named something like transform file, that applies those steps to each file's binary. Finally, the folder query adds a custom column that calls the function for every file, then expands the results into one table. Duplicates happen when you accidentally call the function twice, expand 2 different result tables, or rejoin the expanded results back to the file list. The key idea is this: there should be exactly one path from the folder list to the expanded combined table. If you see 2 paths, you're likely doubling data. Keeping these pieces separate in your head makes troubleshooting much faster. Next step. Now let's do a disciplined row count audit. Start at the raw folder query before any expansion. You should have 1 row per file, not per record. If you already have more rows than files, you're not looking at the folder list anymore, you're looking at expanded content. Next, after the step that adds the custom column calling the function, you still should have 1 row per file, just with a nested table in a column. The big jump should happen only when you expand that nested table. If you see a jump earlier, you likely expanded the wrong column or merged something you shouldn't. If you see 2 big jumps, you probably expanded 2 different nested tables. This audit sounds basic, but it's the fastest way to catch the exact step that creates multiplication. Fix the first wrong jump, and everything downstream improves. Next step. One of the most common traps is accidentally referencing the sample file output in your final query. The sample file query is meant to define transformation logic, not to be appended into the final dataset. If you append the combined output to the sample output, you'll duplicate one file's data. If you reference the sample query in a merge, you can multiply rows in subtle ways. A good rule is the sample file and transform sample file queries should never be loaded, and they should never be used as a data source for reporting tables. They should only feed the function. If you need to test logic, duplicate the combined query and filter it to one file name. That keeps testing separate from the production combined pattern and avoids the sample got included mistake. Next step. Another major duplication source is a merge back to the folder list after you've already expanded file contents. People do this to bring in metadata like folder path, modified date, or file size. The intention is good, but the method can be dangerous. If your join key is not unique, or you join on something like date or customer, you create a one-to-many relationship, and every match multiplies rows. The safer approach is to keep file metadata attached before expansion. Add the metadata columns you need while you still have 1 row per file. Then expand the nested table. That way, metadata is repeated down the rows of that file without any joins. If you must merge later, join on a truly unique key like full file path plus a row ID created within each file. Next step. Let's talk about a quieter trap, expanding the wrong column. In the folder combine pattern, you may have multiple columns that contain tables, like one from the function and another from a previous step or a merge. If you expand both, you effectively create a Cartesian-like multiplication, because Power Query repeats rows for each expanded table combination. The fix is to be intentional. Keep only one data column that represents the transformed file content. Remove or postpone other nested tables. Also, rename the function output column clearly, like file rows, so you know which one to expand. And after expansion, immediately remove columns that are no longer needed, especially binary content columns. A clean column layout reduces the chance of accidentally expanding something that looks harmless but contains many rows. Next step. Duplicates can also come from how you filter files. If you filter by file name patterns incorrectly, you might include both the real files and temporary copies, backups, or exported duplicates. For example, you might be pulling report.csv and also report-1.csv or $report.xlsx files. That's not a Power Query bug, but it looks like one when rows double. The fix is to filter the folder list carefully before combining. Filter out hidden files when possible. Exclude common temp prefixes like tilde files. And if your process creates versioned exports, filter on a strict naming rule, like a fixed prefix and a date stamp format. The earlier you filter, the cheaper the refresh and the less confusing your row counts will be. Next step. Sometimes the rows aren't duplicated by file. They're duplicated inside each file because the transform steps create a many-to-many expansion. The classic example is splitting a column into a list, then expanding the list, which creates multiple rows per original record. That might be correct, but it surprises people when totals double. Another example is merging to a lookup table that has duplicates in the lookup key. Even if your main table is clean, the lookup duplicates will multiply rows on expansion. The practical fix is to validate uniqueness where you expect it. In lookup tables, deduplicate the key before merging. In list expansions, decide if you really want multiple rows or if you want a single aggregated value. If you do need multiple rows, add a clear line ID so downstream measures handle it correctly. Next step. Here's a reliable fix pattern that keeps combined files stable. Start from the folder list. Keep only the columns you need: content, name, and maybe folder path. Apply file filters right there. Then add the custom column that calls the transform function exactly once. Do not reference the sample file anywhere else. Next, expand only that function output column. Immediately set data types after expansion, not before, because types inside the sample can behave differently across files. Then add your business logic steps like merges to dimension tables, calculations, and grouping. This order matters. It isolates file ingestion from analytics logic. When duplicates appear, you can quickly tell whether the issue is in ingestion steps or in business steps. That separation is what makes the whole setup maintainable. Next step. If you want a fast diagnostic, create a tiny control table from the folder query. Keep file name and a calculated row count of the transformed table for that file. You can do that by adding a custom column that returns Table.RowCount of the nested table before expansion. Now you have one row per file with how many rows each file contributes. If totals look wrong, you can instantly see which file is duplicated or which file has unexpected volume. You can also add a hash-like check, such as combining a few key columns into a single text and counting distinct values per file. This doesn't fix the problem by itself, but it makes troubleshooting objective. You stop guessing, and you stop chasing symptoms in later steps. Next step. There's also a practical question. Should you remove duplicates as a fix? Sometimes, yes, but only as a last step and only when you can define a correct key. Removing duplicates blindly can hide real issues, like a file being processed twice. A better approach is to prevent duplication at the source, then optionally deduplicate for data quality. If you do deduplicate, create a composite key that matches the business meaning, like invoice number plus line number plus source file. Then remove duplicates based on that key, not on every column. And keep a quick audit measure. Count rows before and after deduplication. If that number changes unexpectedly after a refresh, you know something upstream drifted. Deduplication should be a controlled decision, not a bandage. Next step. Let's wrap this into a simple checklist you can reuse. 1. Confirm how many files you're importing and filter out temp and backups. 2. Ensure the function is called once per file and only one nested table gets expanded. 3. Keep sample file queries as helpers only, not part of the final output. 4. Attach file metadata before expansion, not with a merge after. 5. Validate merges and lookups have unique keys, or you'll multiply rows by design. If you follow that order, you'll fix most import from folder duplicates rows cases in minutes, not hours. If you want to go further, build that per file row count control table and keep it around as a diagnostic. If this was helpful, subscribe for more Power Query troubleshooting patterns, and comment with your experience. Do your duplicates come from merges or from the sample file trap, A or B? Small tweaks compound into massive performance gains. Subscribe to catch the next workflow optimization.